Hey everybody, David here for Dave's WordPress again, and we are continuing along the SEO section of the Quick Start Kits, and we want to talk to you about the plugin called Yoast SEO. So Yoast is probably the most popular WordPress plugin, and there is an optional path to upgrade, which, to be honest with you, if you're going to focus on SEO heavily, I would highly suggest maybe picking up that subscription for Yoast. But I want to show you what the free account will do for you. And by no means is this going to be an exhaustive tutorial. Yoast has an excellent tutorial and documentation and a university, in fact, that covers the entire Yoast plugin. So I'm just going to give you the high-level overview of what it is and why you would want to use it. So first thing you do is come down here to your plugins under Yoast SEO and activate it. And once it gets activated, I want you to take notice of a couple of things. You can go to settings here, but Yoast is actually installed right here off of the top, and you'll see this with a Y icon. So you have a plethora of options that's up here, and I'll go a little bit further into this pull-down menu when we get into a particular page, because we want to show you two areas of the plugin that you're going to need to be aware of, and one is on what I'm going to call the back end, and then the other side of it is what I'm going to call the front end, and not so much front end as an end user, like people visiting your site, but you as the developer or designer, your front end, which is technically when you're in a page or when you're in a post and configuring it and setting it up and making it and designing it and all that stuff. That's the front end I'm referring to. Okay, so otherwise, down here under SEO, this is the Yoast plugin with the Y icon, and you get very similar type of options that's in here, but they are located in two places. So for the purpose of this, let's just go down to the sidebar on the left, hover over SEO, and choose General. Now when we do that, it'll say First Time SEO Configuration. Run the wizard. Well, I'm not going to run the wizard on this particular site. Well, actually, I think I can. It won't error out. Again, I'm using a development environment. This is not a real domain, so we may run into issues. So it's a series of questions of 9 steps that it's going to walk you through in this workflow. And you're just going to have to answer the questions. And the first one's pretty straightforward. Do you want your site to be live and ready to be indexed? So I could say my site is under construction. Do not index it right now. Well, you're going to more than likely choose this option, so I'll do it as well. We may run into trouble because I haven't run through a mock version of this, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get any errors, but if I do, I apologize. And then the question is, what exactly is this? Is it a blog? Is it this? Is it a corporation? Each one of these questions will trigger a metadata of additional questions to provide. So if I choose corporation, when I click next, I'm going to get very specific questions about a corporation. If I choose a portfolio, it's going to ask specific questions. I can't cover all of the nuances in here, but just pick the best one for your business or for your site, and just know that you're going to have to excuse me, you're just going to have to struggle through, or not struggle through, answering the questions as it pertains. So I'll just randomly pick one, choose corporation. Now you have to choose the name of the organization, and I chose this one because I think a lot of you would choose this. But just know that when you get here, it's going to ask you for your existing social media information, which is very important. So if you're getting ready to configure this plugin, make sure that you have this information handy, because it's going to be needed. Otherwise, you can come back, we'll just call this test.org. Otherwise, you can come back and you can fill it out and do whatever needs to be done. Now, if I choose the person here, it will ask me to select the user that's inside of the WordPress users directory. And now it's saying, what should I show? Should I show the posts, the pages, and the projects? And you'll say yes. And does or will your site have multiple authors? If it's just you owning your own site, probably no. So these are the types of questions that you get, and the different variations on all of this. Okay, so you can see the questions are now similar for personal or for corporation. And then, of course, does it have multiple authors? If you're a corporation, Probably yes. If you're a person, you would say no here. I'm just going to say no. Maybe you're just a small business. Okay, and now it's going to deal with the title settings. This is the thing up here at the top where it says Yoast SEO, and then there's a sideways caret or greater than symbol, and then you've got configuration wizard. That's what this is. So it's Dave's WordPress, comma, and then it's going to stack on additional pieces of information to help index and organize your site. And it's asking, what do you want to use as a separator? I like to use the pipe. Sometimes the colon's good too. Other times, just, you know, the greater than, less than symbols are nice to use here as well. So I'm just going to use the pipe symbol. That's kind of my personal default. But again, for you, it's a personal choice. All right, and then do you want to help Yoast improve its SEO? So I always have mixed feelings about this. I don't like my data going out anywhere, so I usually just leave the default as no, which is a nice way of seeing it. And this is what I was talking about earlier. It says continue learning, okay? And so you can sign up for learning all about Yoast. And honestly, you'll spend probably weeks, if not months, going through all of the different features of Yoast and how to improve your site and all of the performance here. So I highly encourage you guys to go through all of that, sign up for it, and take it. And then, of course, here's a video here, and you can watch that as well. And then just close the wizard when you're done. And so for the most part, everything is going to be set up. But I'm going to go over to the features. Notice everything that's on. It'll do an SEO analysis. It'll give you a read analysis. It'll ask you about cornerstone content. If you don't know what cornerstone content is, hover, then click over the question mark, and it'll tell you a little blurb. And then for more information or details, you can go ahead and click on this link, and it'll take you into their blog post on their website that will go into greater detail as to what this actually is and what it can do for you on your website. And here's these additional information. And of course, if you've made any changes, make sure to save those changes. And then of course you have integration with other SEO tools out there, such as SEMrush, Right integration, and things of that nature. Over here on Webmaster Tools, this is important because the Google Search Console sometimes needs to make sure that there is verification. Well, not sometimes. It absolutely needs verification for you to be able to use some of these features. So if you come over here, and now what's not clear, you'd have to click on this and read through all of that. The key word here, though, is the meta tag verification method. And that's important because when you come over to here to click on the Google Search Console, you're going to need to use this HTML tag, which is add meta tag option. You can choose other options, but this is like the most simple. And so now you get this meta tag information. Now you may think that you just should copy this whole entire block. And for the most part, you can. It makes it easier. And then you'll go ahead and paste it into here. The problem, though, is it's only looking for the verification code, okay? Which means this tag information, which is the HTML that would go into your website, it doesn't need to be there. So what you need to come over is this quotation just to the right of the equal sign and where it says content, and delete all of that information. Now come off to the back, find that closing quote, and delete the / and that closing HTML tag. And so all you're left with then is the verification code. This is your verification code. And now you can go ahead and hit Save Changes, and lo and behold, it'll be just fine. This is exactly what you're wanting. Okay. All right. So with that being said, you'd click Save, and then it'll say success, and it's verified, and now you won't run into any trouble trying to get the verification information that you need. Now, the next thing that may be interesting to know, if you come over here to Pages, this is the Divi builder version of our Quick Start Kit. Elementor, I will say, has a tighter integration with the Yoast plugin. However, with the native WordPress plugin and the Divi Builder plugin, or versions of the Quick Start Kit from Dave's WordPress, just come in here to the general edit. Don't go edit with the builder, right? Just come into edit. And the reason for that is we're going to come into here, we'll have our page, and we can edit with the builder. But if we continue to scroll down, this is where we set the specific information about our page as it relates to how it might look on Google. And so here is a focused key phrase. A key phrase is what used to be referred to as keywords, and keywords are just simple things. So for example, Dave's WordPress is a we have the quick start kits, but we also specialize in expert technical WordPress services. And because of that, really what it's all about is we offer WordPress services. So WordPress services is two keywords, WordPress and services, and together they combine a keyword phrase or just a phrase. And so that's really what this is saying here. So don't get confused. A lot of you just may call it keyword phrases, or they may say, just keyword groupings. I've heard it mentioned several different ways. Just know that that's what this is talking about. With the free version of Yoast, you can use a single keyword phrase. If you do the paid add-on version of the Yoast, you can configure multiple keyword phrases for a page. So that is one of the get you gotchas where they are going to get you. And honestly, for SEO optimization, sometimes you're going to need, obviously more than one keyword phrase, but keep in mind the keyword phrase is a focus on this particular page. In this case, it's the welcome intro. It's the only page we have. But if you think of it in terms of that nature, then maybe you don't need to make the upgrade a reality for you on your side. And the rest of the thing is, you'll get a SEO title here, right? So there are some rules, and you can read all about that in their Yoast plugin. Again, there's just way too much information to cover here, but you can build and stack on. Remember that page, that separator that we were talking about earlier? Well, that's what that separator is here. And the reason it's orange and not green is it needs to be a certain length. See what happens when I added something? Now that doesn't make logical human sense because I've added site title twice. So what that means is the title isn't long enough. It's not descriptive enough. And so when I added this on, then what happens is it goes from orange to green. The idea is you want to get everything green. So readability analysis, good. SEO analysis, pretty sad, right? Because it's red, and it makes sense because it's not a real site and it's just our placeholder page. But to optimize the pages and your site as a whole, you want to use a combination or a culmination of both the page Yoast settings, which is dealing with meta tags, keywords, proper titling. The description is super important, and then it gives you a preview of what it's going to look like on Google. And here's your SEO analysis, and all of this stuff is super powerful and can be done here online. This is our longest video within Dave's Quick Start Kit, and it's just because it's so important about SEO, and also it's so important that you at least understand the power of this. So I've only scratched the very, very finest points of this powerful plugin, but as you can see, just a little bit of free software offered up here will take you a tremendous and long way and set your site leap years ahead of your competition, because honestly, the only people that really do really well is large corporations that have lots of content, lots of time, lots of people, lots of resources. And if you can just set at least some of the bare minimum basics by using plugins such as this, you're going to destroy and eliminate all of the other smaller competitors out there in the workspace as well. That's it for this video, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.